What's up? Oh, is it live? Live. Test. Let me check the audio. Yes, we are live. Yo, what up, y'all? Y'all rocking with another episode of whatever this is. But this is Collect Decks, an index of collections that we're trying to grade and get scammed out of. And today, I wanted to kind of talk about this whole PSA scandal thing, right? There's a bunch of videos going around now on the internet of different people's experiences, per se, of all these PSA scandals and whatnot. And the funny thing is, there's so many of them now that you never know what you're gonna get when it comes to these scandals, right? Some of them are kind of just nonchalant, like disappointment. Some of them are like way out of bounds, right? So I essentially just had to hop on this live because I'm browsing right now and I came across a pretty crazy scandal. So I would like you guys to actually watch this scandal with me because it's actually pretty eye opening. And like I've watched part of it, but I kind of, my eyes bulged out while I'm watching this, and I jumped straight on live. So let's watch it for real.
A
Right
$30,000.
so a little bit of backstory to this, right? This guy opened a whole booster box of base set. Okay, he's saying he paid $30,000, and then he graded some of the better cards that he got out of that base set booster box. And this is his results after sending it into PSA.
Unlimited.
He's gonna be getting what the grades were for the first time here.
He said booster box. We only sent in the ones that were like worth grading. So this is it. We're gonna
so that was his video of him like ripping the base set, and that's all the hits right here.
Reveal them
After they came back from PSA.
right. These got sent back. The Chansey got listed as altered.
Chat. The Chansey got listed as altered. If this guy's case is true, where he's not lying, he really got, a base set booster box, opened it, and sent it in, and they're sending back a altered sticker. You gotta wonder how they're even measuring that, right? But let's continue.
Altered from a fresh box. Classic PSA, man. Double altered on both the Chanseys. Here we go, guys.
So kind of interesting there. Both Chanseys got double altered. Let's see, what's a PSA 10 base set Chansey? What does that go for? So $1,500 is the prices for PSA 10. PSA 9 you're looking at 400, 450. So okay, interesting. Let's continue.
All right, we got a polygraph. It looks pretty good centering wise.
Remember, these cards are brand new, guys. Brand new, fresh, pack fresh, base set booster box.
I mean, it looks pretty good to me.
A 6.
Bro, how is this a 6? Magneton.
Okay, hold on. Now you see, this is why this is interesting. So, polygraph. So, okay, that's about $500. Here's $777. All right, continue on. Let's see. That other video is a video for later, but
okay, this one is a top thick bad boy. Edges are probably worse too. There's more whiting here.
7.
No. Next, Ninetales. Oh my god. This one's a little off-centered in the back, I'd say. Here we go. Ninetales gets a
6.
Bro, you gotta be trolling.
Hold on. So, PSA 10 base set Ninetales, right? Let's see. It's about PSA 10. Only $300 for that? Very interesting. PSA 10 base set. Okay, so I'm seeing one for 400. Here's one. Wait a second. What am I seeing? Oh, that's an 8. I mean, these are eBay. So, okay. That's probably more of a realistic price. PSA 10. These look like auctions. So, last sold. Let's see, last sold. Last sold. Right? Okay. I don't know if that's real. Okay, this, man, it's kind of hard to say, but 1999 Pokemon base set. This is a first edition, shadowless. Okay, so this is gonna go for a premium for sure. So Gem Mint, PSA 10, first edition again. Okay, so obviously it ranges with vintage. Let's see this one. This is a PSA 10, 8,500. That seems more likely to me. 8,500 for a PSA 10. Now, how much is a PSA 6? PSA 6. So, as you can see, the price drop off is a little ridiculous, but let's continue.
You gotta be trolling me. Okay, Cliff.
So I think that's 3 cards so far. And guys, one thing that I'm trying to hit on here, right? The price difference between a PSA 10, 9, and 8, and even 7 in some cases for some cards, although it really stops at 8, particularly for vintage base set stuff, it's a big difference. It's a massive jump. It's from the thousands to the hundreds, right? So here we go,
Clefairy. This is a big one. Print line's over there, and it is pretty top thick as well.
So even though it has some print imperfections, right? Shouldn't get any lower than a 9. Remember, guys, this is base set. How many of these cards are still floating around in the condition where they're absolutely perfect, right?
Well,
a 7.
Okay. We're trolling, right? PSA, we're trolling. Fire this grader. This grader is a Zoomer TikToker farming 6-7s. No, this is no way. Look.
Yeah, and I would have to agree, you know, because how can it... Man, it's hard to call how things get to this position, especially when it looks like, you know, these are all from a base set, so brand new. How does it get anything less than a 9? 8.
Okay, we got Nido
King is a big card.
King next.
Big
Pretty
card.
bottom thick. The edges
Big
are kind of
card.
cookied. This one has like a straight white blemish on it. So if he graded the other ones a 6, this better not be a 6. This better be lower.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Because the other one didn't have blemishes like this one does, right? Let's see.
We're gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
We're trolling. And it's worse. At least give it a worse grade. I would take the worst grades at this point, but you're just giving us 6s.
He's not lying, man. He's not lying. There's a reason that they're all getting 6s and 7s, and you know, like it's just kind of, where's the line here? Where's the line of quality, control, any of these things, right? Damn. Another 7.
At least the Mewtwo came out of 7. It's big boy Blastoise time.
Blastoise 6. Man.
Okay, so for those of you guys who do not know, these cards right over here.
So that was the whole video, but man, it's kind of, you know, like I really want to get a lot of cards graded. I have a pile of cards right here, you know, like, and these aren't anything, you know, crazy, but these are some cards that I've been wanting to get graded, like something like this, you know, Ethan's Typhlosion, super good. I pulled like 4 or 5 of these, and this is the one that looks like grade worthy. You know, I would love to grade Misty's Psyduck, you know, because a super cool card. And even something as simple as this brand new Perfect Order Gengar. You know, I love this card. I think it looks great. You know, he's in a room haunting other Pokemon, and I would love to get a sent in for grading. However, with some of these scandals like this, it's hard to want to do anything with PSA. That's why a lot of people are switching to tag, which tag is really cool. I can appreciate what they're doing. There are certain companies out there, knockoff companies that are kind of trying to copy tag. For example, I went to a show this weekend, and there was another guy doing some type of tag AI grading, but it just looked super cheap. It just wasn't very good at all. The when they slab it, they put that certification on the top, and that certification just looked like cheap paper. So that kind of sucks. It doesn't make the car or the slab look as good, like as quality. So but anyways, tag is doing great. CGC Gem Mint 10s are right up there with PSA 10s. But I don't know why people go for PSAs. Oh, also this card right here. I love this card. I want to get this graded. But with the way PSA is behaving, do I go to tag? Do I go to CGC? Standards are I would say standards are higher for CGC, right? It's harder to get a Gem Mint 10 than maybe even a PSA 10, right? But then again, who really understands what a PSA 10 even is anymore? If cards like these are getting 6s and 7s, and they're coming out of a brand new base set booster box, and like the way this guy is talking, it has to be a troll, because how do you got 6-7 on everything, man? Like it's crazy. But so there's this, right? On my Saturday night of scrolling through YouTube, I see something like this. But also I saw, if anybody's familiar with who Pokey is, and that's the next video. Oops, I have queued up here. That's this guy, right? Now this guy runs a Pokemon YouTube business, or I don't know if it's YouTube, but it's a Pokemon business, and apparently he got started from Japanese cards, right? I'm a big fan of Japanese cards. Even when I was a kid, let me see if I have any Japanese cards here. I don't think so. But even when I was a kid, I used to love Pokemon Japanese cards. There was something so interesting about having the Japanese writing. The cards just looked a little bit different. The backs were different. By the way, I prefer the old school back of the Japanese cards than I do to the new stuff. The old school back was super cool. For some reason, it reminded me of the British flag. But anyways, Japanese cards really have my heart, because they were the start of the game, and when you couldn't get the English version, the Japanese was always available. And for somebody like me, I loved it, and I know there's a lot of people out there that loved it as well. Pokey, so his Japanese card business is going through some stuff apparently, and he's talking about a lot of fraud, right? And I think what he's talking about, the fraud is from, is very interesting. So I want you guys to listen. Let's watch it.
Card world and its fans. Now things are a little bit different, because it's impossible to start a Japanese Pokemon card business now. I'm gonna double down on that. It is impossible to start a Japanese Pokemon card business now, because of a few things. One of those things is the Mafia in the U.S., the Yakuza in Japan.
He's talking about some gangster stuff, right? Gangsters. That's what he's talking about, is infiltrated Pokemon. And the interesting thing is, you go to a lot of these events, you can see where the gangsters and the hot boys, they're there, and the thing is, I'm not saying I'm a gangster or a hot boy, but I've been around certain types of people. I've grown up in a certain neighborhood, and the look in those people's eyes, I know that look. They're hot boys, like they are in the underground black market of this stuff, and they operate within that market, and they've infiltrated Pokemon for sure. So let's continue.
General Japanese price fixing, and now Chinese knockoffs. Yeah, that's what eBay is full of. So let's just start with let's start with the mafia real quick. I think it's important to start that the mafia, the yakuza, other gangs, even though in movies.
So hold on, let's see what this says. I've heard stories years ago of large building in New York run by some fellers, and it was nothing but pallets of Japanese booster boxes. See that? I was invited to come out to check it out, but I wanted to keep my fingers. I can only imagine the operation today. So I don't know exactly what that means, but New York, I believe it.
They make them seem ironically fake. There's a lot of movies that make fake things seem real, but the problem with the mafia, pirates as well, is they're so ingrained in Hollywood culture that I think some people don't realize they are real organizations. It's just organized crime, guys. Drugs, prostitution, all sorts of rings. Like, this is real life stuff. And a lot of them have acquired Japanese Pokemon cards and English as a way to launder money, transfer funds kind of off the grid, etc. And
You know, that right there is the subject at hand, right? I'm gonna tell you what these guys are doing, right? The trappers, the scammers, you know, just the gangsters in general, that or just, you don't even gotta be gangster, but like somebody that's, you know, making money in illicit ways. They're absolutely using Pokemon as a means to wash their money. The thing is, I see the levels of this, right? Like he's mentioning something about, you know, what they show in movies. What they show in movies is and TV is kind of exaggerated, but not fully, right? You got the top level guy that's making the money, right? He catches wind of Pokemon. He gets one of his loser guys, right? The lower level guys. Maybe I shouldn't say loser, but just the guy that like is willing to do illicit things, but doesn't have to take it too far, right? Hey, take this money, go wash it with Pokemon cards, and I'm gonna have you run that operation to continue to wash my money within their organization of crime or work that they're doing, right? So you see this, okay? You see these guys at these stands. They're not the general nerd that's been in Pokemon. And you know, a lot of these guys on Facebook Marketplace are some of these lower level guys that are trying to flip the money around, or you know, a cousin or something like that, of a dealer, or you know, whatever the business is. It doesn't have to be drugs or anything, but it's happening. It's happening. You see it at shows. A lot of these Facebook Marketplace guys, that's what they are. A lot of these OfferUp guys, that's what they are. You know, that's why they're not into negotiation. They're really not into negotiation. They're kind of just like, hey, take it or leave it. This is the price. It's almost like a drug deal, you know. Like, you want a dub, this is the price for a dub, and it's 20. You know, that's the same way Pokemon is going now. How long will it last? Guess what, y'all? Need you guys to know something. The reason why the money is running up in Pokemon like this is because it's not the thing that's going to last or not. It's here to stay. Okay, this is it. Once like organizations like this get involved, that means there's enough money to push it towards to the future. So it is what it is, you know. Like, and I'm not saying if you're one of these guys that does this, you know, more than likely you're probably around my age and you grew up when Pokemon came out. So if you're a trapper now, Pokemon might be your hobby for real, you know. So like, I'm not even judging anybody, but this is a thing, you know, and it's a dog eat dog world, and I'm not saying, you know, you should do your own griminess, but what I am saying is you need to be aware of it, you need to be prepared for it, and you know, so some people don't have any honor, you know, and I'm not saying that's the trappers. The trappers might give you the better deal, you know, but then it causes like your average Joe to just be ravenous and bloodthirsty for money or whatever the case may be. This is a true situation, right? So, anyways, I'm not gonna put you guys through all this, you know, video, but I just wanted to touch on this part of the video because from here he kind of goes on to talking about the business aspects of it and how it affects him. But I just wanted to this point of it, like organized crime, gangsters, all types of people are trying to wash their money in Pokemon because they realize it's an economy of its own. So why wouldn't you be involved in the world's economy as it stands, right? So yeah, man, I just wanted to hop on live. Hey guys, if you like this video, if you want to support the channel, you want this one piece American flag in the back, check out the link in the description below for my website. They're on sale right now. Please buy one. I got other countries' flags there as well, and I got the OG black Jolly Roger for you if you need it as well. So I think I'm gonna cut this live here and now. I kind of just want